Gentlemen, raise your beverages.
Fresh out the box.
Stop, look and watch.
Ready yet?
Get set.
This is an NXT party.
It is the main player, the hater slayer, the Mac Daddy, the Daddy Mac, the Dun Dada, ain't none high, the Richmond's first, Richmond's finest, there are none flyer, you can call me your highness, King Francis, there you go.
Word.
Support, no DQ.
Welcome everybody to the NXT party for episode number 65 of NXT UK. I'm your host, the Rated R reviewer, Stephen Osborne, joined as always by the General Jerry Slaughter.
Good morning, wrestling fans.
And as already noted, we have King Evan Francis here with us again. How's it going, Evan?
Oh, it's going fantastic, man. I'm just honored to be here yet again, ready to cover another fantastic show. It was a great show, and I'm just excited to dive right into it, man.
That it was. Colin, the Cleaver Andrew, joining us as well. How's it going, Colin?
Oh, yeah, well, me. Still same old G. Just a little G. You know.
Be wider, Colin.
No, I'm ready for this. This is a good
Oh,
episode.
yeah.
For once, I would say Evan did not overhype this show. This was a really good show.
Yes, it was.
Compared to last week and the week before, that were just kind of meh.
Well, I think
kinda there.
I think it's also the fact that we, like, you and I are solid mid-card guys. We love the mid-card. That's where we find the people that work the hardest, really, I believe.
This is true.
So, this was the second show that we're getting out, Brentwood, so this is definitely the mid-card show.
Yeah.
And it did not disappoint in any way, shape, or form.
Now, we start off the show with a video package hyping up the NXT UK Tag Team Championship match. This is going to be the main event tonight. We've got Gallus challenging the South Wales subculture, and we'll get there. We'll get there, folks,
we'll get there,
but
all right.
trust me, it is worth the wait. We start the night off with Ilya Dragunov coming out, and for some reason slapping the floor like 9 fucking times. What did the floor do to you, Ilya? What did he do? He's facing Saxon Huxley tonight.
The match that was supposed to happen, but
a couple weeks ago,
Yep, and Wolf took his place and just annihilated Saxon Huxley.
Now, speaking of Wolf, he does come out during this match. He comes down to the stage and just watches. And, of course, Ilya Dragunov's winning this. We haven't seen Saxon Huxley win a match, like, fucking ever. I'm sure he has, but I don't remember one.
Yeah.
Let's start with our new member of the NXT team, Evan Francis. What'd you think about the opening contest?
I thought it was a good opener for what it was. I like Ilya Dragunov a lot. His skill set is pretty well-rounded. I hate the finisher, but I like Dragunov in general. He is an intense guy. Saxon Huxley, to me, he seems like a guy who has potential, like a Bruiser Brody-esque kind of character. But he has a long way to go. It was a good opening match, though. A little bit of back and forth. And I like the story progression, like you said, when Wolf came out and, kind of teased what could happen. So I like that part of it. Kind of adds some intrigue to, to the future storylines that could be going on. So it was solid. It was a solid opener.
I think Wolf coming out added more intrigue to the match than the match itself.
Oh, yeah. The fact that he's nodding in such approval and just eating up every minute of this match.
Saxon Huxley hit one move that I enjoyed. Other than that, I mean, maybe he does have potential because he is kind of a big guy, but he's just so plain.
He looks like Bruiser Brody, as mentioned, mixed with Quagmire.
And they call him Jesus. Colin, what do you think about the opening match?
All right, so I love Ilya Dragunov. Every time I see him, I like him more and more and more, especially after that clash he had with Cesaro.
Oh, God, yes, right?
Yeah.
Cardiff, right?
Such a great match.
And the fact that Wolfie came out, because here's the thing, as we've discussed before, there's ties with Dragunov to Imperium.
Yes.
Because him and Walter are current tag team champions on the indie scene.
Mm-hmm.
And so that all plays into that as well. But no, Dragunov, dude, the dude is awesome. I love everything about it. From the way he goes apeshit over his orchestra music when he comes down, to the red eyes. I know, Evan, you said you didn't like the finisher. I kind of like it. I mean, can it use some tweaking? Yes. But, just come about it a different way or something, but it's effective. The Wolf down there was really great. And Alexander Wolf actually posted something on Twitter. It was, the choice is now up to you. Think about it. It's your decision. Hashtag Imperium, hashtag the mat is sacred. And it's him, Bartel, and Eichner staring down Dragunov, which we'll get into.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
And I'm hoping to see either a join or straight Dragunov just destroy Wolf for some reason.
Right.
I liked how they played on the storyline with it, but overall the match was decent.
I think if Ilya's going to destroy anybody, it's going to be Fabian Eichner.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I'm with Jerry
yeah.
on his previous thoughts here. There's not enough room in Gallus for Ilya Dragunov without
Imperium.
losing Imperium.
Yeah.
For Ilya Dragunov without losing somebody. And who do you lose other than Fabian Eichner? Because he really was just thrown into this because he was Marcel Bartel's tag partner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Thatcher's spot.
He's pretty much the junior member of the group. He's actually the least experienced out of them. Granted, I won't say least talented because
He's great.
The dude can fly like a cruiserweight. He can lift like a heavyweight, and he's just got that awesome speed to him as well. But we'll get to them in a little bit because we actually get to see them against the Hunt. But this match in itself, nobody saw Saxon Huxley winning.
No.
Okay? No, that's just not going to happen. Especially against Dragunov, his first match back after injury and everything. They want to show this, and they also want to show Alexander Wolf seeing potential in him. Like, when it came down at the end, and you have, like, Wolf standing there applauding him and just cheering him on, and then Eichner and Bartel come out, it's almost like they actually gave their approval as well. But then you had them coming down to the ring at the same time. We were like, and it was a very intense moment. And then they did that whole cool walk around them thing, and Wolf's like, "Come on, let's go chat."
Yeah, that's my last note for the match. My first note is what they suggested was an homage to Cesaro. Ilya hits a deadlift vertical standing on the middle turnbuckle in the corner with Saxon Huxley on the apron.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's cool.
For a guy his size to hit that on Saxon, that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Power, man.
I'm not as big on Ilya Dragunov as you guys are. Like, we really didn't get into him until the match with Cesaro. Up until that point, like,
He was just a bunch of European uppercuts and clotheslines.
yeah, and for the longest time, we thought his finisher was a running European uppercut because I guess the camera didn't get it right or what. But finally, we realized it was a running headbutt, and we're like, okay, we can work with that. Alexander
It's
Wolf,
really about the execution of the move, though. That's what it's about. Because when he does
Yeah.
it, like
it's hard to tell.
the angle. Yeah, exactly. With the angles right and everything, it looks really good. Like this one on this episode, it looked really good. Sometimes not so much.
Yeah,
you know?
sometimes it looks like he's just kind of hitting it with his shoulder.
Yeah,
And he probably is.
Or
but,
just hitting them in the shoulder with
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
No, but like the one that he did on this episode, it makes more sense, and I can see it being a finisher with how it was executed on.
Yeah,
the
it actually looked like he nailed him in the head with a head.
Saxon actually sells well.
Exactly.
That too, yeah. I've got where Alexander Wolf comes out after that second rope vertical, and then Saxon Huxley counters that 6-1 lariat, catches him up and throws him into the corner seated style, and then attacks him. We see the finisher come with a top rope senton from Ilya Dragunov. That diving senton he does, again, reminds me of Ruby Riott.
Yeah.
Only hers comes off the middle rope and she does it backwards. But whatever. The way he lands it though, it's like he pulls himself into the tiniest of packages just to land all his weight square. And then he hits that Torpedo Moscow for the pinfall. And of course we didn't see that coming.
Oh.
Saxon Huxley wasn't winning this.
No.
But again, Eichner and Bartel come out to Imperium's music, and Ilya puts up his fists like he thinks he's about to get beat down by 3 guys. But instead, they head to the ring, they get in, and like Jerry said, Wolf just kind of motions for Ilya, come with me. And they head to the back. And
he's even still looking confused, like, what the fuck just happened here?
although he really shouldn't be that confused.
Well, a lot of people don't know the history of him with this group.
Yeah, that's true.
Or any of the independent stuff. They just know Wolf is interested in Dragunov, and that usually that's going to spell bad news for anybody that, messes with
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, this leads us right into match number 2. I didn't think we were going to get another tag team match on this show because the main event is going to be for the tag titles, but we did. Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel versus The Hunt. This was set up last week, and this was a pretty fun match.
Oh, yes, it was.
I don't think there was a rest hold 1 in this match.
No, there wasn't. It was very crisp and very flowing, and what I really loved about the match is you actually saw the Hunt evolve even further, because granted they started off as a gimmick tag team and you're like, okay, they're wearing funny costumes, it's these 2 jobbers, and they're just gonna progressively lose each match. But there's a couple instances where I thought they were going to pull the upset on Eichner and Bartel.
Yeah, one very specific one.
Like, there was one moment in particular where I thought Eichner was going to get pinned, and that was going to set up for Dragunov to be put into Imperium. Because that's what's going to happen, I believe, if they go that route. Eichner is going to prove to be the weak link of the group, and then Dragunov's going to take his spot. Or Dragunov's going to reject the invitation. They're going to see it as an insult, and then we're going to have a huge feud between them.
Now, you said during this match, or just before this match, it looked like Alexander Wolf was looking for a partner.
Yes.
So, if we see Eichner leave Imperium, are we going to get Ilya Dragunov with Marcel Bartel as a tag team? Are we going to get him with Alexander Wolf as a tag team? Or is he going to be a singles wrestler and Wolf and Bartel are going to be the tag team? Like, how is this going to stack up?
I'm not really sure. I see, if you're doing it almost like the Dangerous Alliance, I see Wolf being more like Larry Zbyszko. He's the sick guy. He's the fixer. He's the pretty much the brute of the group. And then you have your tag team specialist, who you had Arn Anderson and
Tully Blanchard.
Well, Tully Blanchard. If you're going the Horseman route with that one too, but yeah, either way, I see him being more the enforcer and still Eichner and Bartel being the team. But if Eichner gets kicked out, it'll be Wolf. And it'll be Dragunov be the tag team.
Now, we haven't really talked about the possibility of Imperium actually being 5 guys.
Yeah.
Not the burger joint.
But it does sound delicious, though.
I feel like unless it's a giant stable like the NWO became, 5 is a little much.
Well, the only way I can see it working is the 4 of them in the background and Walter standing in the forefront. But even then, that would just seem awkward.
Colin, your thoughts on this match?
I thought this match was the best match that I've seen out of the Hunt. Honestly.
Absolutely.
Hands down. Props to those guys. Fabian Eichner fucking takes one for the team. Well, at least I thought he was going to take one for the team. What was it? Wild Boar was going for a 2-page suicida, was it? And he straight caught him. He pushed out of the way and just straight caught him and just murderballed his ass. the strength alone of Fabian Eichner.
Yeah, Jesus.
Real, but no, I thought honestly, this match puts Imperium in a tag title match. They've beaten every tag team. Yeah, hopefully. But we got to turn Gallant's face first. But because heel versus heel don't work.
Spoiler alert.
Ruin the big finish.
But it's a great match by both men. And to touch on the whole Imperium thing real quick, I see Dragunov and Wolf being partners, just because you got the little man, big man combination. You got the power and you got the speed, and they're both technical, so that could work.
And they got matching haircuts.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh yeah, that's the new thing. You have to have matching haircuts and matching tights. It'll work.
You guys are a tag team. You guys don't have matching haircuts, so.
Never mention me and Stefan tag teaming ever.
Jerry's 6'5". He doesn't need a tag team partner.
I literally weigh Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews together. Okay?
If anything, I'm the superstar and he's the bodyguard.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, walking around the streets of Toronto in the middle of the night, nobody fucked with us because Jerry just looks like he could just grab your head.
Oh, at that point, too, they didn't know what I was because I still had the fro and a huge fucking beard.
Yeah.
Evan, what'd you take out of this match?
I like the Hunt a lot. I like the match a lot. It was a fun tag team match. Like you guys said, it was probably their best outing on NXT UK. I'm familiar with the Primate from like Defiant and a couple other UK programs, but I haven't been that familiar with the Wild Boar until NXT UK, and this by far was their best outing together, like, period. That was fantastic wrestling, good chain wrestling by both teams. Like you guys said, it was a high energy. It never really came down, no real rest holds. Everybody got their stuff in. It was intense. The Hunt, the one thing I really like about them is their intensity. When they come to the ring, it's like, we're going to kick your ass. It don't matter who you are.
Win or lose, you know you're going to be in a fight if you're going against the Hunt.
Exactly. That's the style of wrestler that I like, though. In general, it's like when you come to the ring, you know whether you win, lose, or draw, you're going to be in a fight, and that's exactly what you get with the Hunt. It was a fight, and they could have went either way, and I think that's something for them to build on. In the futures.
That's something you haven't gotten to say about the Hunt, and that's what you want to hear. You want to hear it's like, damn, they almost pulled that off.
Yeah, whether it's a singles wrestler or a tag team, if they can come down and entertain the shit out of you, even without winning, that's what you want. And that's what we got here. My first note of the match is what Colin mentioned earlier, where Eichner just pushes Bartel out of the way. They're on the outside as Primate goes for that suicida. And he does that mat slap several times. He's just pumping up the crowd for it. But as soon as he comes out of the fucking ropes, you see Eichner just grab him, runs him into the steps, backs up, and then we see out of Eichner something we haven't seen in like 3 or 4 months since he was a singles wrestler, that running knee to the side of the head into the steps.
Yep.
So hard. Yeah, so hard he hurt his own knee. We saw the spine buster with the soccer penalty kick to the Primate, and Bartel hits a white noise. They call it air raid crash.
Yeah, that's your
got a near fall out of it.
It was good.
We see the Hunt get back on top. Primate hits a spear, and Boar hits a corner senton, and this sets up the double diving headbutt off the corner onto Fabian Eichner, and this is where we thought the Hunt might actually get this. But as I paused it to write my notes, even Jerry was like, nope, Marcel Bartel is going to grab, I think it was Primate and pull him out of the ring. Sure enough, pulls him out of the ring, disposes of him, and we ended up seeing that European bomb to the Primate, where Eichner hits the last ride, and Bartel comes off the middle rope with the European uppercut. 1, 2, 3. Imperium wins. I mean, I'm okay with this because I'm hoping that this is, again, going to set up Imperium into a title hunt picture. Don't want to spoil things, but let's just say jaw-dropping finish to this show, ladies and gentlemen, when we get there. This was a great match.
Considering they just won on NXT live television yesterday, and then this win that, granted, probably happened about a month ago, if you're looking at NXT UK television.
A few weeks to a month, yeah.
Yeah. Do we actually? My mentality is that I think they could actually be, if they keep Eichner and Bartel together, the first co-holders of the NXT Tag Championship and the NXT UK Tag Championship, and defend on their respective brands for the belts.
Well, they're definitely putting themselves into position to vie for both titles on either show. I don't know if I see them winning both titles, but certainly they've got to have tag titles in their near future because Eichner and Bartel are just so fluid and so awesome. At one point, they even finally went for that lawn dart off the middle rope into the vertical suplex. Now, granted, it was countered in this match, but at least they went for it. We haven't seen that in a while.
I just had this thought, and you three, I think, probably just had it too, which is cool. What are we thinking about possibly Alexander Wolf and Dragunov getting the UK tag titles, and Eichner and Bartel? I think this is what we're setting up for. And Eichner and Bartel getting the NXT tag belts.
That would be pretty cool.
To have both sets of tag belts and Walter in the middle with the fucking
UK championship.
Oh my god, I think that's what they're going for.
That would be crazy.
That would be nuts.
Now we follow this match with a flashback to last week. We got an attempted interview with Rhea Ripley. This was after she came out in the main event and helped Piper Niven win. And Piper Niven comes out and interrupts the interview and basically tells Rhea, hey, I know we've had our differences, but thanks for helping me. And Rhea's she don't give a fuck. She's like, I don't like you. Like, I didn't do that for you. I don't like you. I just don't like them more. And by them, we're talking about Jenny and Jazzy Gabbert. But she says, if you can make that match happen, I can set aside our differences for 1 week.
Yep.
And we can tag together, but make that match happen.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like we're going to get a tag match here, and I look forward to that for 2 reasons. Rhea Ripley and Jenny. And that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, watching Jenny in the ring is awesome because she's got so many different little submission holds and whatnot that she does, and she's so vicious, you know?
Yeah.
Versus, like, Jazzy Gabbert, who's still really awkward to me in the ring. And Piper Niven, she doesn't look like she gives 0 fucks about what she's doing in there. And, yeah, it's going to be a great match regardless, just because Rhea Ripley's in it.
Yeah, no kidding. Evan, do you think Rhea and Piper can set aside their differences and win this match, or do you see Jenny and Jazzy Gabbert taking the W?
Okay, so I'm a huge fan of Rhea Ripley. Let me get that out the way real quick.
I don't like where this is going.
Yeah. I honestly think, I think Jenny and Jazzy are probably going to come out on top in this situation, just because they are cohesive, they're together, and they're one unit. I think the team of Rhea and Piper
Niven.
I think they'll be formidable, but I think that they will lose because they're 2 individuals simply out teaming out.
Yeah, they're going to fall apart in the ring, and somehow Jazzy and Jenny are probably going to get the victory. I'm with you. What about you, Colin? Who do you think's got this match?
Well, I was going to go off of what Evan was saying, plus the fact that we have seen Rhea Ripley move over to NXT.
Yeah.
Wasn't she announced as a roster change? So I see with her moving over to NXT, they're going to give the win to someone who's going to be sticking around in NXT UK to help build them. You know what I mean? And they can work that somehow. They're like, oh, she lost, and now she went off to the States to wrestle in NXT, and, because we beat her. Or they could play something off of that because, like we've discussed before, also, they need to build that women's division up just a wee bit.
Oh, man.
Well, it's not like it takes all that damn long to get from the UK to here and back. Like, just because Rhea is in NXT now, for however long she's going to be there, doesn't mean she can't show up in NXT UK. Like, she could be a superstar on dual brands.
Well, I think all she has to do is pop over there for like one show,
1 weekend.
That's it. Yeah, and then like they do three nights worth of shooting in one night.
Yeah, so she's over there for the weekend and she's back for a Wednesday night. Like, it's no big deal. But if she does come to NXT permanently, I could see that happening that way. What about you, Jerry? Who you got?
I'm gonna have to go with you guys on this one and give the win to Jenny and Jazzy Gabbert. And then, hopefully, this just means less TV time for Tony. Still another week without Tony Storm.
And you know what? I'm happy about that because I'm not a huge Tony Storm fan, but at the same time, I am curious where the fuck they're going with this.
I'm starting to think she's going to come back as a heel.
She might as well.
It's like, nobody came looking for me. No one's been asking about me. And then, sure enough, people have been asking about
Yeah,
her.
Radzy's been in the back waiting on her ass for like 5 weeks now.
Right?
I'm still waiting by the door for Tony Storm. It's been about 2 months now.
Somebody bring me coffee and a burrito. I mean, if Rhea is turning face, or at the very least becoming sort of a tweener, but the crowd's getting behind her, then you totally have room for Tony Storm to come back as a heel. And I think I might actually get behind the woman if she gets rid of the fucking the two words that must not be named on this show. If she gets rid of all the stupid phrases and shit, and actually like gets an attitude about her and goes to the ring and does some damage, maybe I get behind her. But
versus the hissy cow that we saw on her last performance.
I mean, it sucks to say, but like the most hype I've been for Tony Storm were those nude photos that got leaked online. I'm just saying. But speaking of the women's division, up next is our third match of the night: Nina Samuels versus Xia Brookside. They built this match up briefly last week in an encounter backstage, and speaking of brief, I have one note, and that's the finish of the match, and it's not much of a finish. But let's start with Colin. Since Jerry got to go first last time. What did you think about this match?
Colin?
Sleepy Andrew.
We were talking about the women's match.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
See, here's the thing, Colin. I actually did think you fell asleep because that's exactly how you fell asleep at last time. Same hat and everything.
Yes, sir. But no, I thought that match was a joke. To be honest with you, I don't like any of these women that are in this match because they're not doing anything at all to get me over. Like, I can't stand Brookside running down like a fucking airplane. Like, you know,
paper airplane at that.
Like, the only cool thing about either of them is Samuel's music is okay.
Yeah.
That's it. So
Xia Brookside sounds like she's got the video game music going for her.
I like her music for that. I like Nina Samuel's music in that I know it's her when I hear the music.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Like, Xia Brookside sounds like she's got NBA highlights number 15. Like from the old Nitro and whatnot. It's like TBS music.
Evan, did you enjoy this match more than we did?
No. So I'm gonna dive into something real quick about the women's division in general.
God, that was great.
Because I totally agree with Colin, right? Because number one, outside of a couple of women we just saw before this, like Rhea Ripley, Piper Niven, who's barely there, but in Jenny, Jazzy Gabbert, and like you said, Tony Storm, who's just there by principle, right?
Yeah.
Besides those girls, who do you really care about in that division? What have they done to really make you care about the girls in that? Nina Samuels to me is cookie cutter, right? Even Kaylee Ray. To me, Kaylee Ray is like a transitional champion if you've ever seen one.
Well,
like
the only other ones I can really care about are the ones that are pretty much on both shows, and that's Dakota Kai and Oh,
Tegan Knox.
Tegan Knox.
I have to agree half with that. I would say yes for Dakota Kai, not so much for Tegan Knox.
Well,
Tegan Knox looks like they have stuck her in a formula. They brought her back on NXT UK. She won a squash match, lost to the champ. Now they brought her on to NXT, and she won a squash match, and it looks like she's about to lose to the champ.
Yep.
So I don't really care about her, other than the fact that, again, I think she shouldn't be allowed to do the shiniest of wizards with those knee braces on. It
The
just
shittiest of wizards.
The
It's the
shittiest
worst.
of wizards.
It's the worst looking shining wizard I think I've ever seen in my entire life. And people play it off like it's the coolest thing on the planet. No, it's not.
Yeah, I just feel like they're kind of like weapons. If you've got knee braces on, you shouldn't be allowed to put your knee into somebody's head.
I agree with that. That's concussion strictly off top. I've seen people, especially in the ring, even during training and stuff, I've seen people come up with concussions for less and brain trauma for less. So, doing that, I think is kind of setting yourself up for failure on that end. But to tell you the truth, in all honesty, the women's champion, the NXT women's champion should be Jenny. She's the only one that really kind of makes everything interesting from a hero aspect, especially with the Jazzy kind of / Diesel dynamic going on. I think at some point it's just a matter of time before she gets the belt. That's the most interesting person to me in the division, because I feel like long-term heel-wise, you can build around her.
Well, for me, she's grown so organically, because when she first started out, it was nothing but promos.
Yeah.
And then she got in the ring, and she slowly started to unravel her moveset.
Repertoire, yeah.
And we are to the point to where she has gotten a title shot and lost, but now she has redeveloped her character with this bodyguard who is just, ominous looking. Not the best in the ring or anything, but
she is kind of going the Shawn Michaels route with this.
Yeah.
So I have to agree there, but this Nina Samuels-Zaya Brookside match, it was cookie cutter, and then Zaya wins with it was like a spin around drop onto the shoulders, and then a matchbook stack up for the 1, 2, 3, and the only thing I liked about that was the view. Because Nina Samuels, she's got a nice figure. Let's just put it that way. Zaya Brookside is tiny and cute and all, but Nina Samuels has got that full body figure.
They're like.
Oh no, Zaya looks like she got a little dumb back there, man.
I had to call BS on this match like at least once, and that was from commentary, because they started really hyping the fact that Robbie Brookside had absolutely nothing to do with Zaya Brookside being in NXT UK. She earned everything on her own.
Yeah.
I can't.
He's a trainer at the fucking Performance Center.
He's a trainer at Performance Center. Like, I can see him saying, like, you're doing this on your own, but then she, like, smiled or something at him, or got the blue hair, and he's like,
wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more.
I think we could use you. So
let's roll on past this cookie cutter match. We get a video package, and this started to hype me up a little bit. They show footage from, I'm assuming, Progress and a few other independent companies in the UK.
Yep.
And I'm like, who is this guy? Turns out we've seen him before, but I didn't know that until they prop his name up there. It's A-Kid. A-Kid. And I'm like, okay. So they're repackaging him, obviously. But if they're going to repackage this guy,
give him another fucking name.
give him another name, please.
That's a terrible name. I was just about to say that's a terrible name.
It is horrible. Horrible. The only worst name that I remember out of NXT UK is that chick. Who's the one? We've seen a couple of matches out of her. It's so bad. Shax.
Yeah.
The chick named Shax.
Candy Floss?
No, I love Candy Floss.
Candy Floss is great.
Her name just goes perfectly with her look and her gimmick. Like that's.
I'll agree with that.
But this was just a kid. Okay. Yeah, he is a kid.
So now you get to hear about people like whoever's in the ring with them. It's like, I can't believe they're beating a kid in there.
Man.
I mean, Sean Waltman really didn't take off until they got rid of the 1, 2, 3 Kid name.
Yeah.
I mean, he had that match with Razor.
Well, he had Lightning Kid, and then he was 1, 2, 3 Kid after he beat Razor.
And then he went to the NWO, got the X-Pac, and just it was.
Well, it was 6th in X-Pac.
6th in X-Pac, yeah. 6-Pac. And then X-Pac in WWE.
Yeah.
Six was a much better name. But anyway, yeah, rename this guy and then get back to us.
Would X-Pac really be 10-Pac?
Man. One time.
So Jordan Devlin's music hits, and I get hyped. Because I'm like, sweet, we get a Jordan Devlin match. And Jerry's like, we're not going to get a Jordan Devlin match. He wrestled last week. I'm like, so did The Hunt, motherfucker.
But that wrestling is pretty deadly. Can you really count that as a fucking match?
Right. But then he comes out, and he's not wearing ring gear. So it's like, all right, we're just going to get a promo. And I was hoping we were going to get a match between him and Mastiff. But we do get a showdown. He comes down to the ring, and he says that a lot of people call him arrogant. And he takes exception to this. He says, I am not arrogant. He said, I'm not arrogant because I know that I am the best wrestler, not just in NXT UK, but in the entire world.
Yep.
On the planet, I am the best wrestler. This brings out Dave Mastiff.
I hate the fact that he used sports entertainer.
Thank you.
Yes, I hated the fact that he used that, because that boy is a wrestler.
He definitely is.
No doubt.
Mastiff comes down, interrupts him, snatches the mic. And he goes to say something, but Jordan Devlin just sucker punches him. And while he's kind of on one knee on the mat, Jordan Devlin goes for that Devlin side, and it isn't going to happen.
No.
It's not going to happen. Mastiff pulls him down onto the mat and then hits him with that running senton. And then basically just says, if you think you're the best, I mean, put yourself to the challenge. Let's go.
Yeah.
And we're going to see that match. I don't know if it's going to be next week or the week after.
That'll be next week.
I'm super looking forward to that match.
Yeah.
Probably saying.
Let's see. Colin, who you got when we see this match?
Devlin.
Really?
Yeah. Because they need to keep building him up. I know that Mastiff lost the coffee and, this, that, and the other, but Devlin needs to stay on a winning streak. That's just the way I feel. Just the way he needs to be built. I know I can tell by some looks on the faces, y'all disagree, but whatever. To me, Devlin, besides Imperium and whatever's going on with them right now, Devlin is the best thing going in NXT UK.
I agree, but I think that's also why he can stand to have a loss to Dave Mastiff, because Mastiff is huge, and Mastiff just came off of that loss to Joe Coffey, which was kind of a big deal. Mm-hmm. It was his first loss, and I don't think that his second loss needs to come at the hands of Jordan Devlin. I think Devlin can stand to have a loss here and still have credibility just because he's fucking Jordan Devlin. Evan, who do you think wins this match?
Man, I like both guys, but I think what we're looking at is the match that's going to decide the next contender for Walter. And if that's where we're going, because we don't know for sure, but if that's where we're going, damn it, that's tough. But I'm gonna go with Jordan Devlin simply because he's, like Colin did say, he's the best thing going in NXT UK. He's my favorite wrestler in NXT UK, period.
I think he's everybody's favorite wrestler in NXT UK.
Period. What he did on the mic was crazy. Like, he came out there and got his point across, and just the whole showdown with Mastiff, you didn't know what was going to happen. You were, like, amped. But he got his point across. I like Devlin a lot. I think he'd be a perfect contender for Walter, and maybe the guy to take it off him after, like, in time. If they want to throw Mastiff at Walter now, I could see him getting the victory, and because he would need it after the Coffey loss. But I think Jordan Devlin is the guy right now.
I think just going by story logic, Mastiff has to win this because he's the babyface. If the winner of this is looking at a title shot, it's got to be Mastiff. And
I agree. It's just that I like Devlin so much.
Me too.
In his skill.
It's kind of hard to get it out there.
I think that's why Devlin can afford a loss here, is because everybody loves him anyway, even if they hate to love him or love to hate him. Jerry, who do you think wins the match?
Oh, it's going to be a no contest, or we get the triple threat match against Walter.
That would be interesting.
Nobody even thought of that.
Like it'll be the first triple threat match he's actually been stuck in. Pretty much copy and paste of what they're doing right now in NXT against with Keith Lee, Dominik Dijakovic, and Roderick Strong.
Well, they say never bet against the Ace, but Mastiff says, I'll take that bet, Ace.
Yeah.
And I think Mastiff would get the win, but who knows?
If the match gets thrown out, that's what I see happening. We'll see a triple threat. Especially if Sid Scala and Johnny Saint go ahead and up the ante between the two, just like the ante got up between Lee and Dijakovic.
Well, the fact that they have not announced this match, I believe that it's at least 2 weeks away, if not longer.
Yep.
But in the meantime, we are going to get a match next week that we know about. We get a video package for Noam Dar versus Trent Seven, and this goes all the way back to Noam Dar's press conference.
You guys, actually got to cover this match.
Yeah, the first match ended in a disqualification. Trent Seven would not stop beating the shit out of Noam Dar in the ropes. He got the 5 count and the loss. This next match next week, I'm hoping this is the end of it. Make it the main event if you have to, but hopefully this is the end of it. But also next week, we're going to get Travis Banks versus Ligero. I don't know where this came from, but sure.
Yeah.
I think if anybody is going to make Travis Banks finally look good in the ring, it might actually be Ligero.
Yep.
Jerry, who do you think wins that one?
I think Ligero's going to, but for completely different reasons. And it's something I touched on with you while we were actually watching the match. I was reading my PWI 500, which I do a lot. And I read that Joseph Connors and Ligero are a tag team on the indie circuit.
And right now, Joseph Connors is a heel.
Yeah, and it'd be great. And I think Ligero's bound to start showing a dark side, especially with his win-loss record. And for those two to team up would actually be kind of an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, especially since we've already seen 2 or 3 matches between those two.
Yeah.
We've seen a full-on storyline between them.
So if you're going to team those two up, why not have it the expense of flat face there and just have him lose?
So King Francis, you got El Ligero or the Kiwi Buzzsaw?
El Ligero. He's got the more consistent record, I believe, and he's been the more consistent superstar overall since the inception of NXT UK. Banks has had flashes of good things going on, but I think overall Ligero is the more consistent guy. And like my man Jerry said, I think that him showing the darker side, because I did not know that he had a team with Joseph Connors, and I've started to notice that NXT UK likes to play off of some of the storylines from the Indies, so I can see that kind of coming together. So with that being said, I think Ligero got it, man.
What about you, Colin?
Travis Banks is in this match, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say, Colin, we have to keep in mind he may not make it down the ramp. Actually, no, there's no ramp there, so we're safe.
What are you talking about? That ramp's like fucking 9 feet.
Yeah,
like I can lay down and stretch out like this and touch the ring in. Like seriously, are you kidding me?
I have to disagree with all of you. I think that if this match is happening next week, there is no build-up here for Ligero to turn heel during the match and use some sort of heel tactic to gain the win. I think Travis Banks finally gets a decent win here, and this is what's going to start propelling Ligero into being a heel.
That could happen too.
So I think Travis Banks is going to get the win. All right, that brings us to the main event.
Do you think he'll lose the horns?
I don't care if he turns heel or stays a babyface. No matter what, he needs to lose the horns. They are just... they're god-awful, man.
Oh, that's fucking nuts.
They make no sense. Or at the very least, change them somehow so that they're not just fucking there, like 2 hard dicks on the side of his head.
Support, no DQ.
Now... we are on to the main event. As previously alluded to, it is for the NXT UK Tag Team Championships. We've got Mark Coffey and Wolfgang of Gallus challenging Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster, the South Wales Subculture.
Yeah.
And what a fucking match, man.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't necessarily the caliber of the NXT UK Tag Team Championship matches that we've seen on the 2 takeovers, but definitely main event caliber for this show. Let's start with, let's see, who hasn't gone? King Francis. What did you think about the main event?
Main event was fantastic, like you said. There was no complaints there. Gallus, man, when they're on, they're on.
Oh, yes.
Man. That was fantastic teamwork. Bruisers, and you know what I love about the match, though? I love the contrast between the quick guys, the smaller quick guys, and, you know, the bigger guys who can actually move around and keep up with them. So you had the guys beating them down, doing what they were supposed to do, and then the baby faces made the quick comeback with the exciting moves. That's what wrestling's supposed to be about. This was a great, great, great main event. And I think the right team won, man. You know, Gallus, right now, to me, they're the more formidable team overall.
Yeah,
and
jaw-dropping moment. Gallus won the NXT UK Tag Team Championships.
Yeah.
No funny business, no nothing. We did have Joe Coffey come out, but he stayed right next to the Tron. He did not get involved. He was just there to spectate. And wow, like Jerry and I literally just, no words. We just looked at each other at the end of it with our jaws dropped.
This is the first finish that has had us do that since Velveteen Dream beat Johnny Gargano for the North American belt on NXT television. So that was a pretty big deal.
Colin, what did you think about the main event?
It wasn't, you know, the high quality match that we saw at TakeOver, but Jesus, Wolfgang's a fucking monster. I don't know if y'all realize this, but that boy can beat some ass. And that spear that he delivered to the man with the name Flash Morgan,
man.
Like, I was waiting for Smokey to show up from Friday and be like, you just got knocked the fuck out. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I was so happy to see those guys win, and the way they did it. Clean. 100% Mr. Clean, bald-headed clean.
I
was hoping to see this win at Cardiff, but I'm even happier to see it now. So, congratulations to the boys. And hey, are we gonna, since they're a stable, are we gonna see Freebird rules with these titles?
I want to quote the song and say, "Hey, yeah," but I'm probably thinking, "Hell no," because Joe Coffey is the singles wrestler. I don't think he steps in with the Freebird rules. I think he's gonna still continue to try to go after the NXT championship. Before I break down, I've got like a dozen fucking notes or more. Like this match, just I was writing the shit out of this match. But first, Jerry, what'd you think about the main event?
You gotta figure, I'm looking at my notes from this time last year. October 31st, or actually it was November 1st. It was like maybe the second or third edition of NXT UK. We got Mark Coffey versus Flash Morgan Webster. You gotta consider, they've been wrestling each other for almost an entire year now. And for it to culminate into this match, this has been the longest running feud that we've actually had in NXT, like on and off for like since its inception. Is the Flash Morgan Webster and
Mark Coffey.
Flash Morgan Webster, Mark Andrew versus Gallus in general. And for them to finally like more or less settle this for titles, with titles in the picture, you didn't really see Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews losing the belt this soon.
No,
that's what right in the middle of a card, no less. This is like a main event thing that would happen, and sure enough, as a main event of that show, or the way it divided up. This is the main event we deserved last week, but this whole match. A lot of high flying, a lot of heavy strikes, a lot of heavy blows. Wolfgang being awesome. does a freaking headstand after that poison Rana like he was Rob Van Dam, you know. So like it was just a great match front to back, and the finish, it stunned me. It really did. Just the way Wolfgang just stomped on the back of Mark Andrews' neck and just pinned him down like, we took your titles.
Or we're gonna.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah, this match.
What are you gonna do?
From the belt,
What are you
this
gonna
match was on Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews just deliver a couple of instant drop kicks, take Gallus to the outside, then they run off the ropes and come over the top with Con Helos, just straight out the gate.
Right.
Eventually, Joe Coffey comes to the ramp. We already talked about that, but he doesn't get involved. There is a point where they're battling on the outside, and you could just see Joe Coffey just wants to get in there and hit somebody. But
Yeah.
a lot of crazy spots. Flash Morgan Webster hit that 619 that he does around the ring post to catch Wolfgang with a fucking Hurricane Rana. That we've seen it before, but I had to make another note because that's just awesome looking. And he hits that tilt-a-whirl reverse DDT, and Mandrews gets the assisted 450 from him, near fall. Then we see that move that we've started to see out of Gallus, where Wolfgang catapults somebody, I can't remember who it was, catapults him into a Samoan drop by Mark Coffey. And you know when you see that, you're going to see it again. And again, general rule number 4, if at first...
Rule number 1, too. Plus.
Well, yeah, but that's later.
Yeah.
If at first your move does succeed, don't fucking try it again. But anyway, this time it does succeed. And then we saw a middle rope moonsault by Wolfgang, gets a near fall. And then while they're still on top, Wolfgang goes from the apron, does that front flip over the top rope, where he normally, I think he lands a clothesline normally. In this case, Flash Morgan Webster got the blind tag and nails him with a running high knee. Just sick looking.
Yep.
Let's see. A double. They start beating on him, but then he comes off the ropes and hits kind of weak looking, but still a double clothesline onto Webster and
They sold it like crazy.
And now everybody's down. And never going to get it. Never going to get it. This is the breakdown. Everybody down. Then they get up. We see dual tags into the non-legal man, or new legal men. And then everybody just meets in the ring and they start beating the shit out of each other. This is where we see Gallus again go for that catapult. But this was awesome. And like you said, it turns into...
General rule number 1.
Yeah, from general rule number 4 to general rule number 1. Although they didn't really go for the vertical suplex, but Mandrew somehow turns that catapult into a goddamn Stun Dog Millionaire. I hate the name, but whatever. That was cool as hell looking, though.
Evan, if you don't remember the rule, it's never try vertically suplex Mark Andrew. Ever. It never ends well for you in any way, shape, or form. So my next note is Wolfgang trying to do some kind of electric chair onto, I think it was it was Mandrews. Yeah.
And there's another general rule. Never try to do an electric chair anything to anybody in NXT because it's going to end badly. We saw Flash Morgan Webster run in for that high knee, and then Mandrews flips over into the inverted Rana spike.
They call it the Poison Rana, and I think it's the coolest name that they've come up with in quite some time.
Yeah.
And then Flash Morgan Webster with a swanton onto Mark Coffey, he hits him in the back because Mark's on all fours, gets a near fall. And then Mark Andrews goes for a suicida onto Wolfgang, who catches him. Again, catching the suicidas. But then just chucks him into the ring post. And this takes Mandrews completely out of the match. We don't see him again until he gets his neck stepped on. Flash Morgan Webster goes for that 730 senton a la Ricochet. Misses. Wolfgang turns around and hits that spear. He spears him, picks him up, and drives him into the mat. Just
Bobby Boucher.
sick looking.
I was about to say it was very Bobby Boucher-ish.
Very water boy.
Number 9.
And then picks him up, and we see Mark Andrews deliver the enziguri to the back of the neck. Wolfgang hits him with the power slam. 1, 2, 3. Well, I think Wolfgang's got his foot on Mark Andrews' neck, who tries to get into the ring, and Mark Coffey gets the pinfall. Gallus is the new NXT UK Tag Team Champions. Holy shit, folks.
Yeah.
What a fucking main event.
It was a game changer is what it was.
Absolutely. Joe Coffey gets in the ring, they celebrate, and that ends the show with, hey, yeah, in the background. Just, wow.
And the crowd is just stunned. You know you got a great end of a match when they're that hyped during a match. Then all of a sudden, it's like, wait, did they just lose?
Here's a good question. How do you follow that with another hour of program? For this crowd.
Trent Seven and Noam Dar have their work cut out for them.
Unless they come back for another night in a row and do 2 more hours, like, I gotta agree with Jerry. How do you end the second hour of taping with this main event and then expect anything to come even close?
Yeah.
Holy shit. This match was awesome. But that brings us to the end of the main event. And here on the NXT party, we like to rate the main event using good old-fashioned NXT. It's a little bit contrived, but go with us on this, folks. Let's start with King Francis. Evan, out of 5 spots of NXT, where do you rate the main event?
This is a good main event, man. I don't have any real complaints about it. Great tag team wrestling. The right team won. Let's go ahead. I'll give it a 4. 4 spots.
4 spots of T.
That was good.
Colin.
I'll give it 4 spots.
I am going to go because of the awesome teamwork that we saw from both teams. Because let's be honest, Morgan Webster and Mandrews work phenomenally together.
Yeah.
They do.
Absolutely.
I'll give them that. I will give them that all day long. So the right team won. Overall, I thought it was a good show. So I'm going to go with a 4 and then an extra quarter star for a good show. So
Even with that Nia Samuels match?
I liked the first 2 opening matches.
Yeah.
So I thought the Imperium deal with Dragunov and the Imperium match alone, I liked it a lot. So I'm going to give it an extra quarter star or quarter spot.
Jerry?
I'm actually have to go with Colin on this one. Like, for the entire reason that he's rating it that way. The fact that, yeah, granted, like, that Nina Samuel match and Zaya Brookside match was kind of underwhelming, but you gotta take in consideration, we needed that cool down. We needed a little bit of, like, okay, let's take time to process this shit. Oh yeah, those 2 are wrestling? Cool. What the hell's going on with Wolf? And, you know, it's like, like, everything else is going on right now. And this place is just buzzing and ready for that tag match. So they needed something to kind of cool things off just a little bit.
They did have Jordan Devlin's in-ring promo.
Yeah. But even then, like, that's just hyping us up for Jordan Devlin versus Dave Mastiff. And that's going to be a great match, like, in itself. But this match alone is pretty much what Gallus wanted in the first place. They didn't want to be in a they wanted just to be in a tag match against grizzled young veterans, and they didn't lose the match, and they showed like that they're just as deserving to be champions as Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews.
Probably more deserving, honestly.
Yeah, and they just happen to be at the right place at the right time with the right move. Because at that point, what was it? James Drake had ran out and hit them with the suicide dive on Zach Gibson's command, and that's when Zach Gibson lost the match for them.
Right.
So, turnabout being fair play, kind of. They turned around and won the match against those 2, and it just all kind of makes sense. But at the same time, it kind of blows my thing out of the water with Eichner and Bartel taking the belts off them for right now. But I'm not sure how that goes into play. I'm interested to see what happens. And the fact that Gallus is now starting to get gold around their waist, it could be pointing at Joe Coffey finally getting his shot against Walter.
Well, before I give my rating, Colin, you had something?
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier, and then Jerry just mentioned it, how he wanted Marcel Bartel and Eichner to win the tag team titles over in NXT, and had Wolf and Dragunov, if that whole thing takes off, to do the NXT UK tag titles. What if, since we're seeing Imperium on NXT TV more, and since the Cruiserweight title is now a NXT title, what if we saw Dragunov go after that and Wolf go after the North American title?
That's what we forgot to do at the start of the show.
That's a possibility.
Israel Diaz actually asked us that, as we were going off the air with NXT this morning.
Since the NXT brand is now in control of the Cruiserweight Championship, does
Undisputed Era.
Is Undisputed Era now, do they now have all the gold? And I would say technically not.
They don't?
Not anymore. But
well, they also don't have the women's title.
I'm all for either scenario. Either Wolf going for the NA title and Dragunov going for the Cruiserweight, or them forming a tag team and splitting and getting both tag team belts under the Imperium umbrella. Either way, I'm fine with that.
This is fantastic!
But I still get to rate the main event. So, I am going to initially agree with everybody, because for me, a great match starts at 4 stars. And this was a great match, but I would call it on the low end of the great spectrum. So I'm going to start it at 4 stars. However, I am not going to give it an extra quarter star off the back of a great show. I did like the Ilya Dragunov match. I really enjoyed the tag match after that with Bartel and Eichner. But that women's match brought it down, and honestly, we didn't see a whole lot go into the promo with Jordan Devlin. I think we could have seen more. So I'm not going to give it an extra quarter star, but definitely this, or quarter spot of T. This is definitely a 4 spot of T match.
I was about to say, it gave you time to eat your barbecue rib meals.
It was fried chicken and gravy.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, I didn't even bother looking, and you kept on talking about barbecue rib meals. So.
No, they're great.
They're fantastic.
Those
Banquet's
ribs,
badass.
So, yeah, I think, so you guys give it 4 1/4, and me and Francis give it 4 spots of T.
Yeah.
But hey, either way, it was 4 and better.
4 and better is awesome.
So that brings us to the end of this episode of the NXT Party. Thank you for joining us. Thank you guys for being on the show. It is a nice change from last week when we didn't have any guests. Yeah. It happens sometimes. Hadn't happened in 9 or 10 months, though.
Yeah, it's the first time we actually had no guests in 9 months.
But that gave us an opportunity to go back and look and find out that, yeah, we've gone nearly a year without having to do this by ourselves. So that is super cool.
Yeah.
The fact that we've got such dedicated members of the NX team. One of the newest members, Evan Francis. One of our oldest members, Colin the Cleaver, Andrew. And if you would like to join us on a future episode of NXT UK and help us review a future episode, come have a spot of NXT with us. We'll give you an opportunity to catch me or Jerry on social media. But first, King Francis, where can we find you?
Oh, man, you could go ahead and check me out. Go to Work Fitness on Instagram, YouTube, same thing. Go to Work Fitness. I also have the website, go to workfitness.com. BTW, Big Time Wrestling, always around there. We're doing shows. November 16th is the big toy drive, so come through, see what's going on. We got a lot of good talent coming up, so check that out, man. And Facebook, Evan L.G. Francis.
Heard you got a match coming up, son.
Oh, yeah, it's coming, bro. That's what I'm saying. Right now, I'm just sharpening up the blades, getting people ready, man, because at the end of the day, people been waiting for something dope, something different, and we going to give it to them. I'm ready, man.
Nice.
All right.
Where can we find you, Colin?
You can find me on the Twitter machine at NoDQ, Colin Andrew. You can find me on Instagram at Colin26Andrew. Good luck in your match, man.
Thank you,
This
bro.
was fun doing it with you. Support our good friend, Noah Foster. Noah Foster 210 on the YouTube. He's the finest guy around for all your indie updates, and the dude is so dedicated. I can't keep up with his channel, put it as that. So
Yeah.
so much content, and it's all wonderful stuff. So thanks guys for having me on. Sorry about last week. I totally forgot my kid had a dentist appointment. So
It's okay. It happens.
you gotta dad it out.
This is life.
Yeah.
So yeah, Noah Foster 210. You can find Cindy G, another member of the Index team, at simply_C_OK. That's her YouTube channel. And Colin forgot to plug his YouTube channel, The Cleaver, Colin Andrew. That's where he does the chopping block.
Yeah, you do a show every now and
Dude,
then.
it's been a while since I've done a video, and normally I don't have to plug myself because you're watching my fucking channel. So yeah, follow me on my YouTube channel at The Cleaver Colin Andrew. I do Prime Cuts, which is my prediction series.
Those are the best.
They're great.
They are
like
like this
2
short.
minutes.
They're awesome.
They're like 2 minutes, and if I do an intro, don't do the intro, it's like 45 seconds,
Yeah.
whatever.
It's all for how many shits you give about the pay-per-view.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, the more interested I'm in it, the longer it's going to be. The shorter it is, I don't fucking care. But check out the chopping block too. I just posted a video earlier this week, I think. Yeah, today's Friday, so I think I did it like Tuesday.
Please,
So,
number 9.
Up on out. Check it out, subscribe, like, share, eat meatloaf.
Yeah, check out all the members of the NX team. We've got Chris Willis. We've got Chris Mace, who's got his new YouTube channel at Christopher Mace.
You've
check
probably
out
seen it.
Owen Finch at Wrestling Fortune 44. You can also check out James Headman Heberd's CAW channel, where he's got Weymouth Youth Wrestling. That's WEYMOUTH.
Great stuff.
If you like create a wrestler wrestling programs, the production value is probably unmatched. Like they put a lot of effort into that show, so check that out too. But you can find me on Twitter. Go to nodq.com/Stefan. That's STEFAN. If you just want to look me up on Twitter, it's at Stephen R. Osborne, OSBORNE. As always, the R stands for restricted. That's because we say cunt and fuck and shit and shit, piss, cunt, fuck, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits, fart, turd, and twat. You can also find the gentleman on Twitter.
And Micron. That's way worse than shit, man. You can find me at NoDQ General on Twitter and also my Facebook group Armbar. All capital ARMBAR exclamation point. Yeah, find us there. We have memes, we have discussions, just general malarkey between a whole bunch of great wrestling fans.
Yeah, as long as you're active, doesn't matter.
As long as you're active, you don't try to add us on Facebook, we're good.
Yeah, don't add us on Facebook. That's our spoiler-free zone. So, but you can add me on Instagram now at osborne.stefan, where I have no content and 50-some followers, and I think that is awesome and hilarious.
I'm one of them.
So help me get to 100, and it'll be even more hilarious. If you like our video, click the like button. That's over here underneath me somewhere. And if you like all of our videos, do yourself a favor. Click the subscribe button. That's over there underneath Jerry. If you're watching this on NoDQ.com's YouTube channel, click that bell icon because we also review NXT, and we do that live on Thursday morning. So that bell icon will let you know when we go live if you want to join us in the chat room. We get super chats and shit. Like we legitimately get chat room questions and stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Finally had Israel Diaz on the show last week or this week. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Probably one of our biggest fans that has never been on the show. Hopefully we can get him up there someday. Other than that, if you're watching this on our channel, Aftermatch Wrestling, click that subscribe button, share this video, and help us get to 250 subscribers. And we're going to start doing this show live on Aftermatch. That's all one word, AFTERMATCH, Aftermatch Wrestling. And if you help us get to 1,000 subscribers, we are giving away a board game. 1984 edition Clue. It is not that old. It is just retro, but we are giving it away, and I'll ship it to you for free. So somebody's going to win a board game when we hit 1,000, maybe
might as well be you.
5 years or something. But thanks for joining us. If you don't have Twitter, if you don't have Facebook, if you don't have any of the social media, leave a comment down below with your email address, and we'll get you up on the screen. That's how we got Chris Mace on the show. He's been a dedicated member of the NX, probably our most dedicated member of the NX team for almost a year now.
And a hell of a dance machine.
That's because he loses prediction videos left and
To
right.
Jerry, no less.
I believe That is all the plugs.
Yes, it is.
So for the King, Evan Francis, for the Cleaver, Colin Andrew, for the General, the Gentleman, Jerry Slaughter, I am the Wizard of No DQ, Stephen Osborne. Thank you for having a spot of NXT with us, and we will see you in NXT time.
NXT time.
NoDQ.com/merch.
Buy yourself a hat, folks.